Hey, hello everyone and namaste. So today we are mainly going to discuss about the AZ900, that is Azure Fundamental Exam question answers. After completing this question answer, which is of set 1, set 2, set 3, around some 200 plus questions are there. So after completing these questions, you will be able to clear the or you will be able to pass the AZ900 Azure Fundamental Exam. So this is just a start of a series of Azure. In the upcoming weeks, or you can say in the upcoming videos, you'll learn more about the Azure cloud, because nowadays this is not something I am talking about some assumptions and all. To be very honestly and frankly, this is something I am talking about on the facts that now the AWS market is also growing, and GCP market is growing, but there is something called Azure market is also there, where the top most giants, or you can say top companies or the top organization, they are moving their entire infrastructure from the on premises to Azure cloud. At the same time, even I have done the migration from the you can say from the Jenkins pipeline to your Azure Devops pipeline. So I got a very good hands-on experience towards this Azure cloud as well as in Azure DevOps. So in the upcoming videos, definitely that is 100% sure. I am going to provide more videos on the Azure cloud. But without wasting a single moment, let's get started with this AZ900 question answers. But guys, for those who are new to this channel, or those watching my videos first time, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel to get more updates on the Linux, DevOps, Azure, AWS, GCP. So, which all technology stacks I have worked on till now, I am going to produce those videos for you guys. So, it will be not only helpful, this will be a clear path where you will be getting more exposure towards IT industry, and you'll be get success in this IT industry, guys. Okay, so without wasting a single moment, let's get started. So AZ900 fundamental exam, that is also called as Azure fundamental exam. So in this exam, there are totally four parts. It's divided into four parts, and the exam will be around 65 minutes. So the first part will be you need to understand the cloud concepts, that is consisting of almost 15 to 20% of the weightage. And the next thing is understand core Azure services, that is compute, storage and data, and Azure architectural components, IoT, ML, AI, and DevOps services. Like in AWS, we have different services, right? There is compute, there is network, there are different services, there are storage services. Same like in Azure also, that is called Azure. Different services will be there. That is IoT, ML. So guys, I'm telling you one thing that is very sure. See, if you know one cloud, it will be easy for you to understand the other cloud. Why? Because one technology is always predecessor to the other technology. So if you know how to drive a Hyundai vehicle, so you will be, and you will be 100% able to drive Toyota, or you can say, or MG, and nowadays Tata, or it could be any brand, because vehicle is it's like a vehicle. The driving principle is same. Maybe the features with all the vehicle differs. So it's like that only. The cloud may the name will be differ, some features will be differ, but at the end of the day the concepts will be same. Okay, so yeah, this is all about. So and the third one is your understand security, privacy, compliance, and trust, that will consist of 25 to 30%, and understand Azure pricing and support, that will consist of 20 to 25%. So I'll show you. If you can see the another slide. In the second slide, you can see clearly. I have mentioned like this also, that 15 to 20% of storage, and compute, data, and networking will consist of 30 to 35%. identity AAD, okay, that is AD, and security that consists of 25 to 30%, and most of the part the questions will be coming from pricing and support base. Okay, so we'll start with the first question. What is the first question is, to answer this question, review the statement below and decide if the statement is correct as it is, or if the underlined portion of the statement need to be replaced with one of the choices below. So one common requirement to use a SaaS model. Okay, so right guys. So service on the public cloud is installation on your host machine. So which will be correct? So the answer for this one is internet access, guys. So I'll tell you. So for this, you need to understand what exactly a SaaS model is. So SaaS model is nothing but that is called software as a service, which allows for the delivery of the application that can be widely distributed, right, and can be accessed. So that how you can widely access these applications and will be right. So for example, you can say like your Google email, right? Google email service is there. This email based application is fully managed and is accessed over the internet, right? So there are no requirements to install any software your local device to be able to use it. Correct? Guys, are you understanding my point? Are you getting my point? So, one common requirement to use a SaaS model, that is software as a service, on the public cloud. When you talk about the public cloud, then internet will come into the picture. So, the cloud installation on your host machine. So, that requires a internet access. That is true. Okay, I'm moving towards the next question, guys. So you can see the answer also, that is internet access. Okay, now the next question, you are deploying Azure virtual machine within a single data center. But you can say, but you want the VMs to remain available when any server within the data center is offline for maintenance. Please try to understand the question very carefully. You are deploying a Azure virtual machine like your VM, like your virtual machine within a single data center, but want the VM to be remains available when any server within the data center is offline for a maintenance. So the answer is like how you can deploy. So then you need to answer how you can deploy your virtual machine to accomplish this. So the answer for this one is nothing but that is deploy the virtual machine in a separate update domain. So there are some other answers also, that is called some. It's telling that deploy the virtual machine into separate fault domain, deploy the virtual machine into separate app service plan, deploy the virtual machine into a separate availability zone. So you need to understand, see what is the fault domain, or what is the update domain, and what is the availability. Okay, so I'll let talking about. So if you want to understand, so it will take another time. So for that so what exactly Azure fundamental, Azure cloud. So for that I am going to prepare a course where you'll be understanding what is the update domain. So as of now, the answer for this question is deploy the virtual machine in a separate update domain. Okay, so this is something a planned activity. Okay, and where you don't want your single server or within the data center is offline for a maintenance. This is something called planned maintenance. Okay, so the answer for this one is update domain. But at the same time, I'll urge you to go and check what exactly a fault domain, what exactly a app services plan, and what is the availability set, or what is the availability zone. Because if I'll answer all this explain, then I'll create a separate session for that one, for separate videos for this entire. That is what I'm telling you. So as of now, I am only going to focus on this AZ 900 questions and answer. After completing these questions and answer, you will be able to crack the exam. That is 100% sure, right, guys? So let's move on to the next question for this one. So you see, right? So what is the next question, guys? Okay. So here you can see the answer for this one. Deploy the virtual machine in the separate update domain. Correct. So let's move on to the next question. So this is something, what is availability set, what is a fault domain, and how the upgrade domains, how the infrastructure will be. Okay, so don't worry about that one. I am giving you, because as of now for this particular video I am focusing on this question answer. I don't want to make this video so long for you guys. Okay, so moving towards the next question, that is third question. Which of the following area or a feature of a Azure Key Vault? Okay, what exactly Azure Key Vault? So that you need to know. So Azure Key Vault is nothing but where you are going to keep your secrets, your username, your passwords, and all. So this is why I'm telling you. So if you are very beginner, okay, so don't directly go for this exam uh, after completing this video or after completing this question answer. At least first and understand the Azure cloud, that I'll be going to upload those videos in the upcoming weeks, so don't worry about that one. So first go through, learn learn the complete course of Azure, okay, where Azure fundamental, and then finally you can go ahead and you can give this exam. Okay, so fine. This is something who knows already Azure. So I would suggest, please, for those guys only, please, because it will be easy for them, right? Because if I'll be explaining each and every answer, right, or every question, then that requires a separate, that will be too lengthy, right, guys? So for this one, which of the following, coming back to the point, which of the following following are the feature of Azure keyboard? That is, choose three answers. Okay. So first you need to understand what is the feature of Azure keyboard. Okay. So Azure keyboard is something signing and decrypting your on your behalf, obviously, because it will be encrypt and it will be decrypt your passwords. Now it will manage your key certificates and secrets. That is true. How and disaster recovery capabilities also Azure Keyboard can do. But only these three answers are correct. That is, A, signing and decrypting on your behalf, manages key certificates and secrets. Second, and then the third. So you can see the answer also. These three answers are there. Now moving to the next question, guys. So which Azure resource help you to organize and track your organization's adherence to local, regional, and international regulation? So, for the try to understand this question very carefully. That is what I'm telling. Which Azure resource help you to organize, track your organization's adherence to local, regional, or international regulations? So that is nothing but that is your compliance manager. So you need to go and check what exactly. So this is the definition of your compliance manager. Your compliance manager is help you to organize and or you can say and track your organizational adherence, local, regional, and international regulation. Correct, guys. So you can see the answer also. It's a compliance manager. Okay, moving towards the next question. The shared responsibility model defines the responsibility of a cloud service provider, CSP, and customer. When using a public cloud provider, what type of security is always completely managed by the CSP? So a CSP always manages you can say a physical security, that is cloud service provider, right, guys? So the answer for this question is nothing but it's a physical security. That is your answer number A. Now moving towards the next question. Which matrix always increase your network cost no matter how your Azure topology is constructed? So which matrix always increases your network cost? Just try to understand the question. Which matrix, right? Sum of matrix, right? So always increases your network cost no matter how your Azure topology is constructed. Correct? So that is something your the amount of outbound data. Okay. So for the answer for this question is nothing but that is called the amount of data. Okay. Now moving towards the next question, that is which of the following can be used along with the Azure Security Center to help visualize and analyze security alerts. So for this one again, I'll tell you, you need to learn that what exactly a application inside, what is a Azure Advisor, what is Power BI, and what is Data Factory. So here, which of the following can be used along with Azure ASC, Azure Security Center, to help visualize and analyze security alerts? So who is responsible for your security alerts? Who is going to analyze your security alerts? That is nothing but your Power BI. Correct? So yeah, moving towards the next question, even if you can see the answer is Power BI, right? So now the next question, guys. Azure currently offers four paid levels of customer supports in addition to its free basic support service. Which choices list them all in ascending order from the lowest level of support to highest level of support? Means it's asking you what kind of a subscription plan Azure is having. So Azure are basically, I'll tell you, the Azure has only four types of subscription plan. That is, I'm not telling you the answer. Okay, I'll tell you the answer. Let me explain something. So that is called something, you can say standard, or you can say the developer standard, professional, direct, and premier. These are the some subscription services which Azure provides. So developer is something which you will get free, and some of the services which is, and other services which are paid services. So if you are subscribed to those services, you need to pay for that one. So so it's asking you which choice list them all in ascending order from low to high. It's asking, means which is free and which is, means it's asking on the basis of your pricing. You just try to understand from low to high from the pricing, right? So it's the answer is C. That is, your developer will come as a free, then the standard, then the professional direct, and then the premier guys, right? So here you can see the answer is standard, professional direct, and all these, right? So now the next question is in Microsoft Azure. So question number 9. So in Microsoft Azure Storage, DAS provides a reliable messaging system that allows implementing scheduling of asynchronous tasks and implementing persistent messaging. So which one of these is correct answer, guys? Okay. So the answer for this one is nothing but that is Q. Okay. So why Q? Because in Microsoft Azure, or you can say in Azure Storage, Queues provides a reliable messaging system that allows implementing schedule for asynchronous tasks and persistent messaging. Okay, moving to the next question, that is which statement regarding the hierarchy of Azure Active Directory and Azure Resource Manager component are correct. So you need to choose two answers. So out of these two answers, first you understand the question once again. Which again I'm telling, guys, just try to understand this question. Which statement regarding the hierarchy of Azure Active Directory and Azure, that is ARM, and AAD, that is Azure Active Directory Resource Manager components are correct? So the first answer is an Azure Resource Manager belongs to one resource group, and Azure Resource Group belongs to one Azure subscription, and an Azure subscription belongs to one Azure AD account. That is absolutely true. See, so always if you go from forward to reverse direction also, the answer will be correct. This only, guys. Just try to understand this question once again. So in this one, there will be two questions, okay, and there will be no like what I can say. So in some questions you are going to get uh, continuous two question, and you cannot back to the previous question. You cannot go to the previous question. So, so you need to be, so in some question, right? We know if suppose we made a choice, like suppose A or B, but later on we think no, the A is wrong answer, B will be a correct answer. But in this situation, in Azure, in AZ 900 exam, you are going to get some of the question which is in continuation. right? So if you go to question number 10 to 11 to 12, the question number, there will be three questions, there could be four questions, there could be five questions, continuous. So, but you cannot go to the previous question. Once you give the answer, so you cannot go to the previous question, that you'll think twice. So be very careful while answering this question there. Okay, so here you can see this is first question, okay, and this is the next question, guys. So the question number 11 is, your business is transitioning from an entire on premises IT environment to one hosted entirely into the public cloud. Just try to understand now. The organization has their own data center earlier, but now they are moving to public cloud, right? Or private cloud, right? So in that situation, you are moving your entire infrastructure from your on premises to your public cloud. Okay, and all physical servers resource within your on premises space will be replaced with virtual cloud resources hosted of off-site location on hardware that is managed by the cloud provider. So you are forecasting your IT resource cost for required compute, networking, and storage, and how expenses will be charged as a result of your cloud migration. So which statement describe how your capital expenditure and operational expenditure for IT resource will be changed by migrating entirely to the public cloud? You just think, okay, but let's go back to the question number. Question number first, guys. What was the first? So these two questions are in continuation. So we'll answer the first question. The first question is, which statement regarding the hierarchy of Azure Active Directory and Azure Resource Manager, that is AAD and ARM, are correct? So the first one is absolutely correct. Why? Because an Azure resource group is always belongs to one resource group. So an Azure resource group always belongs to Azure resource group, one resource group, and an Azure resource group belongs to one Azure subscription. That is absolutely true. And an Azure subscription belongs to one Azure AD account. Okay. Now the rest all is like what I can say. These are the incorrect answer. Only the an Azure AD account can contain multiple subscription. A subscription can contain multiple resource group. A resource group can contain, and the C answer is also correct. You see, there are two ways, either this way and forward direction and reverse direction. So in the C answer, it's almost same, but it's in reverse direction. What it's telling is an Azure AD account contains multiple subscription. That is also true. Azure AD account can contain multiple subscription, and Azure subscription can contain multiple resource group. That is also true. And resource group can contain multiple Azure resources. A resource group can have multiple Azure resources. Those are the VMs. Okay. Now moving to the next question that I have explained you. So you need to tell which statement describe how your capital expenditure. There are two types of expenditure. One is your capital expenditure. Another one is your operational expenditure for IT resource will be changed by migrating entirely to the public cloud. Okay. So the answer one is your operational expenditure cost of an IT resource will increase, uh, while, so just think in term of, okay, when you are moving from on premises to public cloud, while your capital expenditure will not change. So for the answer for this one is nothing but your IT resource cost will generally change from operational expenditure to capital expenditure. Let me see, the answer for this one will be your, I think guys the answer for this one is the D. Sorry. So why? Because earlier you are into on premises, so you for that you have to pay for the entire infrastructure. Correct? Right, guys? Right? So now you are moving from on premises to public cloud, where your infrastructure will be managed by the cloud service provider. Right? That is CSP. So that CSP, the cloud service, obviously, then you only need to do some operational work, right? And that operational work obviously will reduce. So the answer D is correct. Your IT resource cost will be generally changed from capital expenditure to operational expenditure. So if you want to dig out more, then you just take the definition of uh, uh, what is called your capital expenditure and what is called your operational expenditure. So you can see also, right? So the answer for this one is this A and C, which we have gone through already. And answer for this one is your this one, capital expenditure to operational expenditure. Now moving to the next question, that is which Azure storage replication option provides maximum durability within a single region. So for the answer for this one is zone redundant storage, right, guys? So the answer for this one is zone redundant storage. So you need to check what is exactly zone redundant storage. So you will get your answer. So see why I am directly, because these are some definitions. These are very fundamental, guys. So you no need to like do so much of research and all. There is not practical involved in this one. So you need to go and understand what is the geo redundant storage, what is the zone redundant storage, what is locally redundant storage, or what is real access geo redundant storage. So geo-redundant storage is nothing but geo-redundant storage is a replication option provides maximum durability within a single region. That is true. Okay. Now moving to the next question, that is your uh, question number 13. You want to distribute the information request for your application hosted on multiple virtual machines. Just listen very carefully. Right, guys? Are you with me? Are you getting the point? Right? So, application hosted on a multiple virtual machine within a single virtual network. Which Azure networking resource should you deploy? Just think. Again, try to understand. Your application is hosted on multiple virtual machines, right? And now the question is, which Azure networking resource should you deploy? Obviously, if your application is on multiple virtual machines, then you need a load balancer. So if one node will be down, so other node will be up and running, right, guys? So for the answer for this one is nothing but that is your load balancer. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 14. When an Azure service feature is in public preview, what does this mean? When an Azure service feature is in public preview, what does this mean? It means nothing but the feature is available for all Azure customer for beta testing. Okay. Now moving to the next question, which is uh, let me see what is the next question. So question number 15. Which mechanism connects to virtual network? So this is very common to AWS also, and this is very common to Azure also. So for this one you need to understand what is a peering connection. So see, like VPC you have heard about in AWS, that is called virtual private cloud. So here also there is something called VNet. So if you want to connect two virtual networks in the same region, so like in AWS there are some 18, 19 regions are there, and in like your Azure cloud also there will be some more than 20 regions are there, right? So in that situation, if you want to connect two virtual network within the same region, then how you are going to do it? The answer is very simple and easy. That is called VPC peering in AWS, and in Azure it is called VNet peering, that is virtual network peering. So virtual network peering, guys, so you need to go and Google it what exactly are peering connections. So I'll definitely will in upcoming videos I'll come up with like what is VPC, sorry, what is VNet peering will be there, right? I have already promised for this one, guys. So as of now, please focus on this AZ 900 exam. That course I'll produce soon. Okay, moving to the next question. That all of the following areas which except one. So that one is nothing but that is your monitoring, guys. Okay, so for the answer for this one is your monitoring. So these all comes under Azure Advisor, that is high availability, your cost, your security, your performance, your operation excellence, except your monitoring, right, guys? So the next question is 17, guys. In what way are availability sets are different from a virtual machine set? So you need to know what exactly a availability set, and you need to know what is a scale set. So answer for this one is nothing but that is availability set, can contains uh, various types of virtual machine, but a virtual machine skill sets only contain a identical virtual machine. So answer for this one is C. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 18. Which service can recommend cost optimization method based on your uses of Azure virtual machine? Again, listen very carefully. So, which service can recommend cost optimization method based on your uses of Azure virtual machine? So, for the answer for is this one is very simple and easy. That is Azure Advisor. I told you, right? So, in previous, see, one question is related to other question, right? So you no need to go for the definition also. So if you see, there was one question for Azure Advisor, right? Where exactly? I can show you. One second. So, not here, not here, not here, not here, not here, not here. Right, yeah. So here you can see what is exactly a Azure Advisor. So here one answer is wrong, rest all is correct. So I said Azure Advisor is a recommendation of high availability, cost, security, performance, and your operation excellence. Right? Operation excellence. That same question they are asking over there. Right? So if you see the answer for this one is nothing but the monitoring. Except monitoring, rest all is correct, right? So we'll go back to the same question. So here the question what it's asking, which service can recommend cost optimization methods based on your uses of Azure Virtual Machine? That is nothing but your Azure Advisor, right, guys? Now moving to the next question, that is, which of the following can help a company compare the costs of on-premises data center and Azure? See, so once you move your once you move your entire infrastructure from on-premises to your public cloud, right? That could be your AWS, GCP, or Azure. It could be anything. But in case of Azure, it's asking which following can help a company the cost of on premises. So it has to calculate some calculation, some should be there, right? So answer should be for that one is Azure TCO calculator. So Azure TCO calculator, you can go and you can check the full form of what exactly Azure TCO calculator. Okay. So now moving to the next question, that is of question number 20, of the following choices, which one lets you create a secure connection from an individual client computer to a virtual network? From an individual cloud. So you have heard about in organization we have called VDI, right? Virtual desktop will be there, right? And there is something called client computer will be there, right? From where you can log into the virtual network, right? So that is nothing but that is called your site to site VPN, right, guys? Uh, Sorry, that is my bad. Again, so answer for this one is nothing but that is called a point to site, because here it's not a site to site, that is one virtual network to other virtual network, that is called site to site. But here what you are talking about, that is called your point to site, right? That is from one client computer to a virtual network, that is called a point to site, guys. So answer for this one is nothing but that is called point to site. Now moving to the question number 21, and this question will not be having options. Okay, options in the sense ki you need to either say yes or you need to say no. So please read this information very carefully. For each of the following statements, select if yes statement is true, otherwise select no. Note each correct state section is worth 1 point. So be very careful while answering this question. So the first one is as a platform as a service, PaaS, platform as a service solution. That's how a web apps in Azure provides full control of an operating system that hosts application. It's absolutely wrong. No, a PaaS does not provide a full control of your operating system that hosts its application. So answer for this one is no. Now the next one is it's totally, if you know what is a pass, then it will be easy for you to answer this question, guys. right? So a platform as a service solution that hosts a web app in Azure provides the ability to scale the platform automatically. Absolutely true. The answer for this one is yes. Or a platform as a service solution that hosts web app in Azure provides professional development service to continuously add features to custom applications. That is also yes. That is true. Let me take you through, guys. 1 second. Yeah, so you can see the previous question answer is nothing but that is a point to side VPN, right? And previous to that one, that is your TCO calculator. So I'm showing you the answer also, right? Now moving to the next question, that is again a hotspot. That is for each of the following statements. Select yes if the statement is true. Otherwise, select no. Note each correct section is worth 1 point. Okay, so this is the answer for your previous question. Now moving to the next question, that is this question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct. When you are implementing a software as a service solution, you are responsible for configuring high availability. So please read this one very carefully. What it's telling, this question is telling. So see, it's this particular thing, right? So it's telling you when you implementing a software as a service solution. So it's telling what exactly a SaaS is. So you are responsible for configuring HA, that is high availability. So whether if the answer will be correct, so you need to tell no change is needed. If the answer is, if you think in a SaaS you are responsible for something else apart from this configuring high availability, guys, right? So in this one, so answer for this one. So again, read the read particular this instruction also. So that is called instruction review underline text. If it makes the statement correct, select no change is needed. If the statement incorrect, select an answer choice that makes the statement correct. Means it's simply asking this statement is correct, then no change is needed. If statement is not correct, then you need to answer this one. So for the answer for this one is nothing but that is configuring the SaaS solution. Okay. So mainly when you implement a SaaS service, then you are configuring a SaaS solution. It's not a high availability. High availability is something different. You can see also the answer for this one is this one. Okay, now moving to the next question. That what is the next question, guys? So again, I am telling you in the every question is related to each other, so you will get the answer over here. So you have an on-premises network that contains several servers. You plan to migrate all the servers to Azure. Fine. So you need to recommend a solution to ensure that some of the servers are available if a single Azure data center goes offline for an extended period. What should you include in the recommendation? Obviously, this is something called unplanned maintenance. Okay, this is not a planned maintenance. Something will be unplanned, and your data center is offline. So that is what kind of a recommendation. So that is called fault tolerance unity. Guys, are you getting my point? Are you understanding? Right? You're with me. Fine. Now you can see the answer is fault tolerance. Now moving to the next question is this question number 25. This question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct. It's quite similar. Okay. So if this particular text you think it's correct, then the statement is correct. If this particular in underlying statement is wrong, you need to give the right answer. Correct. So an organization that hosts its infrastructure in a private cloud can decommission its data center. Absolutely. If here, so if an organization that hosts its infrastructure in a private cloud can decommission its data center, no. You need to be in public cloud only, then only you'll be able to decommission. Correct. So now moving to the next question, guys. You can see the answer is public cloud also. Okay. Now the question number 26, what are the two characteristics of a public cloud? If you know what exactly a public cloud, private cloud or a hybrid cloud, there are three types of cloud. Actually, there are four types of cloud. Not four types of cloud, I can say. It's only three types of cloud till now. There is one called a public cloud, there is something called a private cloud, and there is something called hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud, you know, right, guys? It's a combination of your on-premises and your public, correct? So moving to the question number 26, that is, what are the two characteristics of a public cloud? Each correct answer present a complete solution. Note each correct solution will having a 1 point. Obviously. So for this one is dedicated hardware, no. Unsecure connection, no. Limited storage, no. And it is having metered pricing. So you need to know what is metered pricing and self-service management. True, absolutely. So for this one, the answer is D and E. Okay, you can see. So answer for this one is, what are the two characteristics of a public cloud? Right, guys? Now moving to the next question, that is question number 27. So yeah, question number 27 is, this question requires that you evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct or not. So when planning to migrate a public website to Azure, you must plan to pay monthly usage cost. Absolutely true. If you move to a public, that is pay as you go. Means use whatever the services you. It's like your Ola, right? So it's any kind of a services. Pay as per the service. Pay as you go, right? So here also, when planning to migrate from a public website to Azure, you must plan to pay monthly usage cost. True. So you need to select that no changes needed, guys, right? Now moving to the next question is, that is question number 28. So again, these questions are series of questions. So there will be some 5 questions. There will be some 3 questions. That could be 2 questions also. So again, I am telling you, there is no rollback. Rollback in the sense one that you cannot go to the previous question. If you go straight forward, I am telling you. So if you answer once, you cannot roll back. If you are thinking that answer which I have given is wrong, okay, and you need to correct that answer, so at any point of time you cannot correct that answer. That is absolutely true. So in this situation, be 100% sure, then only answer and move to next question. Okay, now the question here is, your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. Fine. The company migration plan states that only platform as a service solution must be used in Azure. Fine. You need to deploy an Azure environment that supports the planned migration. Fine. The solution is, you create an Azure app service and Azure SQL database. Does this meet the goal? Okay. So I'm not answering now, because I said what I said is, first you need to see all the questions. Okay. So you can answer now also. That is also true, but this is a series of questions. So the question is nothing but, you need to deploy your Azure environment that supports the planned migration. So the solution for this one, you are giving that you create an Azure app service and Azure SQL database. Will that going to work? Absolutely no. No. So the answer for this one is no. Now moving to the next question is, sorry, sorry guys, that is my bad. I got confused with one question and the other one. This one we have done, right? 27. Now the next question is 28. Yeah, sorry. So the answer for this one is yes. Okay. So answer yes, absolutely, it's going to work. That you create an Azure app service. So if your company plans to migrate its all data and resources to Azure, the company migration plan states that only platform as a service solution must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that supports the plan migration solution. You create an Azure app service and Azure SQL database. That is true. Yes. Okay. Now the next question is, you need to see same question only, but here see at the end, see it's everything will be same. So you need to deploy an Azure environment that supports the planned migration. So you create an Azure app service. That is the first thing. Azure virtual machines that have Microsoft SQL Server installed. No. That is absolutely wrong, guys. Okay, the answer for this one. See, in the first one is it's telling you create an Azure SQL database. That is true. But if it's coming as a Azure App Service is fine, but the next statement is wrong. Azure virtual machine that have Microsoft SQL Server installed. The answer for this one is no. Okay. Now moving to the next question. That is, you need to deploy the Azure environment that supports the planned migration. You create an Azure App Service. First one, an Azure storage account. An Azure storage account that will work. No, absolutely no. This is no, absolutely no. Okay. Now moving to the next question, guys. Those are the series of questions which we have done already. Now your company hosts an accounting named App One that is used by customer of the company. App One has low users during the first 3 weeks of each month and very high users during the last week of each month. Which benefit of Azure Cloud Services supports cost management for this type of use pattern? Okay, for this type of use pattern, you need to understand, right? So what exactly? So that is something called your elasticity. Okay, so answer for this one is nothing but that is called your elasticity. Your company hosts an accounting named App1 that is used by all the customer of the company. App1 has low use during the first 3 weeks of each month and very high use during the last week of each month, which benefit Azure Cloud Service supports cost management of this type of use pattern. That is called elasticity. Now moving to the next question is that is question number 32, and it's like your different types of service model. If you know all the service model, you'll be easily able to answer this question. This is very simple and easy. Okay, so your plan to migrate a web application to Azure. So the web application is accessed by the external user. Fine. You need to recommend a cloud deployment solution to minimize the amount of. Just read this one very carefully. You need to recommend a cloud deployment solution to minimize the amount of administrative effort used to manage the web application. So that can be only done by as a PaaS. That is platform as a service, not software as a service. Okay. Now moving to the next question, guys. So here the answer for this one is nothing but your pass. Okay. So after question number 32, we have done 33. No. Okay. So here 33. Okay. We have done this one. Okay. So here, if yes, see, you need to choose among these one only. Which one is correct? So the question is which cloud deployment solution is used for Azure Virtual Machine and Azure. Just now we have answered this question. If you have gone through, so just now we have answered this question, guys, right? So which cloud deployment solution is used for Azure Virtual Machine and Azure SQL database? For virtual machine, you need an infrastructure as a service. To answer the answer for this one is nothing but that is called IaaS. Okay. Now the next one is the answer. See, you need to answer it's like for Azure Virtual Machine which service and for Azure SQL database which service model you need to use. Correct. So for Azure Virtual Machine, it's a IaaS, and for Azure SQL database, it is PaaS. Okay, platform as a service. Okay, you can see the answer is also same. Now moving to the next question, you have an on-premises network that contains 100 servers. Fine. So you need to recommend a solution that provides additional resources to your users. The solution must minimize capital and operational. Now there is one question in the starting of the session. What is your capital expenditure and what is called your operational expenditure? Right, guys? So you need to recommend a solution that provides additional resources to your user. The solution must minimize capital and operational expenditure costs. So what should you include in the recommendation? So I'll say, so if you have a on-premises network and you need to provide a solution that provides additional resources to your user. So obviously it will be a hybrid cloud only. Then you need to mix up two things, your public and your on-premises, right? So it's a hybrid cloud. So you need to know what exactly a hybrid cloud. Please go and Google it. What is a hybrid cloud? Now moving to the question number 35, that is, for each of the following statements select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Each correct selection is worth 1 point. Okay. So to achieve a hybrid cloud model, a company must always migrate from a private cloud model. Okay. Obviously it's not like that. Okay. So to achieve a hybrid cloud, a company always migrate from on-premise, right? That is from on-premises, not from private cloud. So to achieve a hybrid model, a company must always migrate from a private cloud model. So this one is no. A company can extend the capacity of its internal network by using public cloud. That is true. On-premises, you can extend through public cloud. And in a public cloud model, only guest users at your company can access the resources in the cloud. No, absolutely no. It will be your employees also, right? So this one is no. So you can see the answer is no, yes, 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 no, right? Now moving to the next question. What is that next question, guys? Next question is, you plan to migrate several servers from an on-premises network to Azure. So you need to identify the primary benefits of using a public cloud service for the server. What should you identify? Again, listen very carefully. You plan to migrate you plan to migrate several servers from an on-premises network to Azure. So you need to identify the primary benefits of using a public cloud service for the servers. What should you identify? So the public cloud is shared entity whereby multiple corporations each use a portion of the resources in the cloud. That is that. Okay. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 37, and these are the series of questions. Once again I'm telling you, these questions once you answer, you cannot go to the previous question once again. Okay, so you plan to deploy several Azure virtual machines. You need to ensure that the services running on the virtual machines are available if a single data center fails. Listen very carefully. If you are plan to deploy various virtual machines, Azure virtual machines, you need to ensure that the services running on the virtual machines are available if a single data center fails. So you deploy the virtual machine to two or more skill sets. Remember very carefully. There is something called, we have given the answer called availability sets and skill sets. So absolutely, if you want to do this one, so a skill set is not correct. So this one is no. Okay. So you can see no also. Okay. So now the next one is, you deploy the virtual machine two or more availability zones. That is absolutely true. That is yes. Right. So you need to deploy like that only, right, guys. Okay. So now the next question is, what is that next question? You deploy the virtual machine two or more regions. Two or more regions. Okay. Yes, that is also correct. So if you want to make sure that if a single data center fails, so one data center will be, both application will be same, but your VMs will be in two different regions. Or if suppose one region data center fails, then you can use the other region data center. That is true. Does this meet the goal? So yes, it meets the goal. Okay. So question number 39. You can see yes. Okay. Now moving to the next question. You have 1,000 virtual machines hosted on a Hyper-V. Okay, host in a data center. So you plan to migrate all the virtual machine to Azure Pay as you go subscription. You need to identify which expenditure model to use of the planned Azure solution. So which expenditure model, uh, what is the question once again? Which expenditure model should you identify? Pay as you go. So you need to remember there is something called capital expenditure and there is something called operational expenditure. So answer for this one is nothing but your operation, right? So here you can see the answer is, yeah, this one, right? Now moving to the next question. What is the next question, guys? Okay, guys. So moving to the next question, that is question number 41. So this is something drag and drop kind of a question you are going to get. So see in the left side, if you can see, right, there will be four options will be there, uh, like this, and then the answers will be at the right side. So what you need to do in the right block, right, in this particular row, you need to, there will be three columns, right? So there I don't know how the it will be. Okay, but it will be like you need to give the right answer to this particular answer is there, which matches to this absolutely correct to this particular statement. So you can see this one, question number 42, sorry, 41, that match the Azure cloud services benefits to the correct description instruction to answer. Drag the appropriate benefit for the sorry, from the uh, column on the left to its description on the right. So each benefits may be used once, more than once, or not at all. So might be, so these are the benefits. Okay, and this could be like these benefits having same like the second, like it is a cloud service. This is one benefit. So this benefit will be for fault tolerance. The benefit will be this, and again for fault tolerance, again the second benefit is also fits for fault tolerance. So that is what it is telling, that one benefit can have multiple answers, or one benefit can have only one answer. One benefit cannot that is what or not at all, right? So like, so let's without thinking so much, let's get the answer. Yeah, so first read this benefit, this appropriate benefit of this statement. A cloud service that remains available after a failure occurs. Absolutely, it is a fault tolerance. So what you need to do is, you this for particular this fault tolerance, you need to take it from here, right? You need to take it from here. Let me see, and you need to put it over here like this, right? Guys, are you getting my point? Yes or no? Correct. So now moving to the next one is a cloud service that can be recovered after its occur. A cloud service, okay, that can be recovered. So you have heard about disaster recovery, right? So even if you something goes wrong, then you can recover that particular thing, right? Correct, guys. So just copy this particular thing. Okay, you can do it over here. So it's not like that copy paste over there. You need to drag and drop, right? So now the next one is, next benefit is a cloud service that performs quickly when it increases. Okay, so when it increases, perform quickly. So that is called dynamic scalability. Okay, so so this one you need to take it and put it over there. And a cloud service that can be accessed quickly to the internet. That is low latency. Okay. Now you can see the answers also like this one: for service, disaster recovery, dynamic scalability, and low latency. Okay. Moving to the next question. This is something called yes and no. You need to answer. So you need to answer. So Azure resources can only access other resources. Okay. Azure resources can only access other resources in the same resource group. Just read it very carefully. Azure resources can only access other resources in the same resource group. No, it can access the other resource group also. That's up to you. It doesn't depend on the resource group. It depends upon your Azure resource subscription, right? Your reason Azure. So it is no. Okay. So if you delete a resource group, all the resources in the resource group will be deleted. So within a resource group, there will be uh, resources, right? Obviously, see, resources means what? Your VMs. So, suppose 100 VMs are there. That belongs to one resource group, right? So, if you delete that resource group, the entire VM will be deleted, right? Right? That is true. So, it will be true only. Okay. A resource group can contain resources from multiple Azure regions. That is absolutely. A resource group can contain resources from multiple Azure region. That I told you, right? So yeah, so 42 is done. Now moving, you can see 42 is done, right? This one, and then move to, see, the answer is no, and then yes. Yes. Okay. Now you, this is question number 43, and you need to answer. So your company has an on-premises network that contains multiple servers. Fine. The company plans to reduce the following administrative responsibility of a network administrator. Okay, so how he can reduce? Okay, how he can? So how he can reduce uh, the following administrative responsibility of a network administrator? That is backing up of application data, replacing failed server hardware. Okay, and what is that next, guys? That is managing physical server security, updating server operating system, managing permission to share documents. Okay, so how you can make sure that a network administrator you can reduce his work? Okay, so only two things you need to do. So exactly. Okay, so each correct selection is worth of 1 point. So you need to identify which administrative responsibility will be reduced after the planned migration. The question starts from here. You, out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, these four responsibilities. Do you think that you need to identify which particular this one? Again, I'm repeating the question. Sorry, that is my bad. Your company has an on-premises network that contains multiple servers. The company plans to reduce the following administrative responsibility of a network administrator. So there is something called backing up application data, replacing failed server hardware, managing physical server security, updating server operating system, managing permission to share documents. The company plans to migrate the several servers to Azure virtual machine. You need to identify which administrative responsibility will be reduced after the planned migration. Means once you done the migration, you can reduce those things. Okay, because obviously your company has on-premises network and the company plans to reduce the administrative tasks. Okay, so in that case, only two answer after migration. Two administrative tasks, that is replacing failed server hardware and managing physical server security. These are the two things which you can reduce after the migration gets, right? So now moving to the next question, that is question here you can see the answer also. Now moving to the next question, that is again yes and no. So all the Azure resources deployed to a single resource group. Listen very carefully. All the resources means what? Your virtual machine. All the resources deployed to a single resource group. Your virtual machine deployed to a single resource group shares the same Azure region. Shares the same Azure region. Yes or no? Absolutely no. Right? Absolutely no. That can share multiple regions also. Right? That particular Azure resource can share multiple region also. Correct? That is no. If you assign a tag to a resource group, listen very carefully. A resource group can have multiple resources, and each resource group you are assigning a tag. So all the Azure resources in that resource group are assigned to the same tag. True. That is absolutely, sorry, that is false, guys. So tagging something you can done with the multiple also. Okay, so answer for this one is no. So if you set permission to a resource group, all the Azure resources in the resource group inherit the permission. See, only one answer is correct in this one. Rest all is wrong. So what is common for a, suppose if some 100 virtual machines are there and in a resource group, so only thing is common that, so if you set a permission to a resource group, that all resources in the same resource group inherit the permission. That is true. Okay, these two are wrong. This one is correct, right? So here also you can see the answer. Okay. Okay, moving to the next question, that is your company plans to deploy an artificial intelligence, that is AI solution in Azure. What should the company use to build, test, and deploy predictive analytics solution? See, this is very simple and easy. Okay, just think, if you know the, at least if you know the basics. Okay, so again I'm telling you, because see, this particular course or this particular series or this particular video dedicated to clear the exam, right? So if I'll explain each and everything, it will, so the video become very long. So what you need to do is, first you need to go and get the definition of Azure Logic App. What is Azure Virtual Machine Studio? What is Azure Batch? What is Azure Cosmos DB? So what it's telling you, your company plans to deploy an artificial intelligence, that is AI solution in Azure. What should the company use to build, test, and deploy predictive? So don't get confused with Azure Devops. Okay. So this is something called predictive analytics solution, and that is something called your Azure Virtual Machine Learning Studio. So there is some old version, now something new is coming into this one, Azure Machine Learning Studio. So that gives you a predictive analytics solution. Okay. So here you can see the answer is like that only. Now again the same thing, yes and no. Okay. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 46. And what is that question number 46, guys? Read it very carefully. So as your advisor provides recommendation on how to improve the security, remember what is Azure advisor. Except monitoring, it has everything, right? Cost, security, maintenance, right? Here you have your answer. Azure advisor provides uh, recommendation on how improve the security of a Azure Active Directory environment. That is true. Yes, it is true. Now the Azure Advisor provides recommendation on how to reduce the cost. That is also true. Azure Advisor provides the recommendation on how to configure the network setting on Azure virtual machine. No, it doesn't provide configuration. It doesn't. Okay, so no. So here you can go and you can see the answer, right? Okay. Now the next question here is something again, answer area you need to tell. This is something, don't get confused. Okay, it's not like that. So it's very simple and easy. First read it very carefully and then you can answer each and every question, right? Okay. So here options. These are the options. These are the answers in the left side. So what it's telling, computer 1, computer 2 and computer 3. Computer 1 is Windows 10 and computer 2 is Ubuntu and computer 3 is your Mac OS, right? So what you need to do is you need to identify which Azure management tool can be used from each computer. So what should you identify for each computer to answer? The select appropriate option in the answer area. Each correct section worth 1 point. Okay. So computer 1 is Windows 10. So whether Windows 10, see the answer, what all answer? The Azure CLI, Azure Portal, Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, Azure Portal, and Azure. Obviously, computer 1, that is Windows 10, can do Azure CLI, Azure Portal, and Azure PowerShell, all three. Windows 10. Ubuntu is also able to do all these three: Azure CLI, Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell. Mac OS is also able to do all these three things, that is Azure CLI, Azure Portal, and Azure PowerShell. Okay, if you see the answer, it's the third one. See, Azure CLI, Azure Portal, and Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, Azure Portal, Azure PowerShell, Azure CLI, Azure Portal, and Azure PowerShell. Okay, so now moving to the next question, that is, what was that? Question number 48. This should be 49. Okay, that is fine. No issues. Okay, this question requires that you evaluate. This is something which you need to answer whether this particular statement is correct or not. If it is correct, then no change is needed. If it is not correct, then which is the correct statement. Okay, the Azure policies provides a common platform for deploying objects to a cloud infrastructure for implementing consistency across the Azure environment. Okay, so what is the answer for this one, guys? You need to get that is something called Azure Resource Manager provides. Okay, not Azure policy. Only Azure Resource Manager provides provide a common platform. For common platform for deploying objects to cloud infrastructure for implementing consistency across the Azure environment. Okay. Now moving to the question number 49. This is something you need to give the right answer. Okay. So the right answer in the right side, drag and drop kind of a thing will be there. So provide question number 49. To provide a digital online assistant that provides speech support. What is that? AI, something AI will be there nowadays with support. So it will be AI, Azure AI bot. Uses past training to provide prediction that have high probability. That have high probability. Uses past trainings to provide predictive. Okay. It is something called your as a machine learning. Okay, Azure machine learning. Guys. Now the next thing is provides serverless computing functionalities. That is Azure function. Okay. Again, so remember these statements. In upcoming questions, these questions will be there only. Okay. So remember these answers. Azure and the processes data from millions of sensors. For sensors, you need something IoT. AI bot. Okay. AI bot. Okay. Now here you can see also that is IoT, not AI bot. Okay, it's IoT. Or AI bot or IoT. It's same only. There is some, okay, so this is IoT. Okay, I made a mistake. The first one is your AI bot, and this is your IoT sensors. Okay, fine. Okay. Now moving to the next question, that is question number 50. So it's asking your company has a several business unit. Fine. So each business unit requires 20 different Azure resources for daily operation. Fine. All the businesses unit requires the same type of Azure resources. Same type of Azure resources. So you need to recommend a solution to automate the creation of Azure resources. What should you include in the recommendation? So you need to recommend a solution to automate the creation of building of a Azure resources. See, you are using every day 20 Azure resources for a daily purpose. Okay, and those are the same type of. So which service you are going to implement? So there is, see, if you want to deploy same kind of a template again and again, there is something called ARM template. You have heard of this one. That is Azure Resource Manager template. Okay. Now the next question is, guys, uh, question number 50, 51. Okay. So drag, drop, match the Azure Cloud Services benefits to the correct description instruction to answer. Drag appropriate benefits from the column on the left to its description on the right. Each benefits may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Okay, so here it's same. Provides the platform for the serverless code. Just think. Provides the solution for the serverless code. Just now we have given the same answer, that is Azure functions. Okay, a big data analysis services for machine learning. That is something called Databricks. Okay, detects the diagnosis anomalies in the web app. Okay, so I'll make it easy for you guys. Okay, don't get confused. So this one will be here. Okay, and Let's make it keep the source formatting. Okay, and a big data analysis of that is Azure Data Bricks. Okay, Azure Data Bricks. Fine. Okay. Now detects and diagnose anomalies in web apps. Um, Web apps that is called Azure Application Insight. Okay. So this we are giving it. You got my point, guys, right? You just need to do it like that. Okay. And the last one is your host web apps. That is Azure App Services. Okay. So this was the question number 51. And the answer you can see Azure Function, Databricks, Azure Application Insight, and your Azure App Services. Okay, moving to the next question is question number 52. Okay, so here what you need to do is you plan to deploy a critical line of business application to Azure. The application will run on an Azure virtual machine. Fine. You need to recommend a deployment solution for the application. The solution must provide a guaranteed availability of 99.99%. There should not be a you can say point you can say almost it is 100%, right? 99.99%. So what is the minimum number of virtual machines and minimum number of availability zones you should recommend for the deployment? Obviously single is not going to work, so it will be minimum two virtual machines will be there. Okay, and at least two availability zones. So in one availability zone, right, if suppose that particular virtual machine, that zone itself is down. Okay, something happened, wrong happened to the data center, then what will do? So you have another zone, right? Availability zone. So that is what that is called availability set also. Okay, so to answer this selection, so answer for this one is 2 2. Okay, the answer for this one is at least 2. Okay, minimum number of virtual machine is 2 and minimum number of availability zone is 2. Okay, now moving to the next question is which Azure service should you use to collect events from? Which Azure service should you use to collect events from multiple resources into a central repository? Remember, which Azure service should you use to collect events from multiple resources into a central repository? That is called Azure Event Hub. Again, so you need to go and you need to know the definition of all other three also. What is Azure Analysis Service, Azure Monitor, Azure Log Analytics? So answer is Azure Event Hub for this one. But you need to get the definition of others as well. Okay, moving to the next question, that is again series of questions. There will be no rollback. Okay, once you answer. So make sure you are giving the correct answer. This question is a part of series of questions. Again, I'm not going to repeat. I'm going to repeat the question. You have an Azure environment. Fine. Okay. You need to create a new Azure virtual machine from tablet. Okay. That runs an Android laptop. Listen very carefully. You have an Azure environment. You need to create an Azure. You need to create a new Azure virtual machine from tablet that runs an Android laptop. Android laptop. Okay. So use the PowerShell in Azure Cloud. Use the PowerShell in Azure Cloud Shell. Yeah, fine. True. Yes, this is true. You can see true. Okay. So you have an Azure environment. You need to create a new Azure virtual machine from an Android laptop. So you use Power Apps Portal. Yes or no? Yes or no? Tell me very quickly, guys. Just think. No, it is no. Does this meet the goal? No. Okay. So answer is no. Okay. Now moving to the next question. So what is the next question is? Again, this is a series of questions which you need to answer. So you have an Azure environment. You need to create a new Azure virtual machine from the Android laptop. So you use Azure Portal. You use Azure Portal. Yes, obviously, if you have to create a Azure virtual machine, then you need to use the Azure Portal, right? So answer for this one is yes. Okay, now go moving to the next question is yes and no. Data that is copied to an Azure account is maintained automatically in at least three copies. Okay, it in at least three copies. Yes or no? data that is copied to an Azure account maintained automatically at least 3 copies. That is true. All data that is copied to Azure storage account is backed up automatically to another Azure data center. No, that is not true. That you need to configure. Okay. And Azure storage can contains up to 2 TB of data and up to millions of files. Okay, that is also no. You need to purchase those things. That is something additional. So you can see yes, no, no. Okay. Now moving to the next question, this is also yes and no you need to do. If you have Azure resources deployed to every region, you can implement availability zone in all the regions. Yes or no? Just think. If you have an Azure resources deployed to every region, Azure resources. I'm not telling you about the Azure resource group. I'm talking about one single Azure resource. That is one virtual machine to every region you can implement availability zones. No, at least two. Before that, there was a question: what is the minimum requirement, right? So minimum two, right? If you have an Azure resource deployed to every region, you can implement availability zones in all the regions. So answer is no. And the other one is only virtual machines that run Windows server can be created in availability zone. That is also no. Okay. Now availability zones are used to replicate data and application to multiple regions. Yes. Availability zones are used to replicate data and application to multiple regions. Yes, that is true. Okay. So you can see now moving to the next question, that is question number 59, guys. So it is quite same. If the statement is correct, no change is needed. But if it is not correct, then you need to tell which statement you need to choose. So what is the question you need to understand over here? An Azure region contains one and more data center that are connected by using a low latency network. That is true. That is absolutely true. Means no change is needed. Okay, right? Now moving to the next question, guys, that is question number 60. It is quite similar. So what is that question is? You plan to deploy 20 virtual machines to Azure environment to ensure that a virtual machine named VM1 cannot connect to other virtual machine. VM1 must be deployed to a separate virtual network. You need to tell me if you want to make sure that one virtual machine, okay, cannot connect to other virtual machine, then how you are going to segregate two virtual machines from in the starting of the session there is something called virtual network, right? VNet, right? So that is what, that is true only. You need to segregate with the virtual network only. So no change is needed for this one. You can see no change is needed. Now moving to the question number 61, that is also a similar kind of a question. So when you need to delegate permission to several Azure virtual machines simultaneously, you must deploy the Azure virtual machines to the same Azure region. No, remember there was one similar kind of a question was there. If you want to inherit that the permission to all the Azure resources within a how? Within a Azure resource group, if you remember properly, guys. So for that one, if you want to inherit all the resources should have the same permission, then you need to implement Azure resource group. That is same resource group. The answer is C. Okay. Now moving to the question number 62. Okay, 61 is not the question. Okay, that is the answer. Okay. Now moving to the question number 62. That is what is that? A team of developers at your company plans to deploy and then remove 50 customized virtual machines each week. 30 of virtual machines run Windows Server 2016 and 20 of virtual machines run on Ubuntu Linux. So you need to recommend which Azure service will minimize the administrative effort required to deploy and remove the virtual machine. What should you think? Okay, so this is something called only this one, Azure Dev Test Lab. Okay, if you suppose if you are 50 customized virtual machine, this is something dev and test environment. Okay, so this will be your dev and test lab. That is fine. Okay, moving to the next question, guys. That is, this question requires that to evaluate the underlying text to determine if it is correct or not. Okay, the same kind of. If it no changes is needed, you need to mention that this statement is correct. Okay, one of the following benefits of Azure SQL Data Warehouse is high availability is built into the platform. High availability. Yes, that is true. Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Why we are building to data HA high availability. So no change is needed. This answer is correct. Okay. Now moving to the question number 64. That is, a support engineer plans to perform several Azure management tasks by using the Azure CLI. Okay, so you install the CLI on a computer. So you need to tell the support engineer which tool to use to run the CLI, and you need to tell. Okay, so which two tools should you instruct the support engineer to use? Any two you need to tell. See, command prompt you know, right? This is something you can use. Azure Resource Explorer is not good. Okay, Windows PowerShell. This also you can. This is also a tool by use of this one management task, or you can CLI. It's telling, right. The question is that an Azure a support engineer plans to perform several Azure management tasks by using Azure CLI. So that can be done through command prompt, and that can be done through Windows PowerShell. These these are not Windows Defender Firewall. It's not Azure CLI. This is also not network and share. This is something else, guys. So answer is for A and C. Okay. So here you can see command prompt and this one. So in the this one you need to manage Azure by using Azure Cloud Shell. Okay. So which Azure portal icon should you select to answer select the appropriate icon. So you need to tell. So if you want to manage Azure, okay, using Azure Cloud Shell. So which is the icon for Azure Cloud Shell? Azure Cloud Shell. You need to tell me. Tell me quickly, guys. Which is the Azure Cloud Shell? This one is your Azure Cloud Shell. The where I'm pointing. This is your Azure Cloud Shell. It's look like this, right? This one. This one. If you go and see, this is the answer. Okay. Okay. Now question is you plan to store 20 TB of data in Azure, so the data will be accessed infrequently and visualized by using Microsoft Power BI. You need to recommend a storage solution for the data. So which two solutions should you recommend? Each correct answer present a complete solution. Note each correct selection is worth of 1 point. Okay. So you need to tell me which two you need to select. Correct. So one is your Azure Data Lake, and another one is your Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Just now we have seen, right, 20 TB, same kind of a question. If I go here, where is that question? 20 TB. I think it's here somewhere. Yeah. See, it's same, right? One of the benefit of Azure Data Warehouse is high availability and build into a platform. Something 20 TB was there. It's quite same, right? If you have gone through, so you'll understand. Correct, guys? Okay. So you plan to store 20 TB, okay, of data in Azure. So there are only two solutions, that is Azure Data Lake and Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Okay, for big data, for so much of data, right? So you can see also Azure Data Lake and Azure this one. Okay. Now here is you have an Azure environment that contains 10 web pages. To which URL should you connect to manage all Azure resources? To answer, select the appropriate option in the answer area. So you know this one, guys. That is portal.azure.com, right? You also know portal.azure.com. So what is that? So portal.azure.com. This is the way through which you can connect to Azure portal. And there is called there is something called dev.azure.com. That is for Azure Devops. Okay. And for keyword there is something different. Okay. But for connect to Azure portal, there is something called portal.azure.com. Okay. If I am wrong somewhere, guys, please correct me also. Okay. If I'll be wrong somewhere, please correct me. Okay, so I'm happily to uh, I'm the most happiest person I can say, or or what I can say. If see, everybody is not perfect, right, guys? Okay, so if I'll be wrong also, if you think that I'm giving the wrong answer, so you can give the right answer in the comment, and you can justify your answer also, right? So you need to identify the type of a failure for which an Azure availability zone can be used to protect access to Azure service. What should you identify? Okay. So you remember in the starting of the session, right? If a data center failure, in that case only you need a something you need to identify the type of failure which an Azure availability zone can be used to protect access to Azure services. What should you identify? That is Azure data center failure. Now the next question is here you can see, right? You plan to extend your company network to Azure. The network contains a VPN appliances that uses an IP address of 131.107.200.1. So you need to create an Azure resource that identifies the VPN appliance. Which Azure resource should you create? To answer, select the appropriate resource in the answer area. Okay. So for this one, that is something called your local network gateway, guys. So guys, I am done with the set one. That is, so I told you this series is this particular exam is of 65 minutes. Okay, but I am going to give you around 200 plus questions. After completing those 200 plus questions, you will be 100% able to crack the exam, right, guys? So I have divided into that particular 200 questions into set 1, set 2, set 3, and set 4. So thank you for watching this video, guys, and those who are new to this channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And see, if you want to know more about me, how I look like, and all those things, guys, so you can visit my son and wife channel, which I have linked to this particular channel, that is Earth and Mom, Earth and Mom. So my son, you can see, I have already linked that particular channel to Engineer Abhishek Roshan channel. So this is all about me, guys. Thank you for watching this video.